Hello, and welcome to another week of the bungalow. This week we're starting the floor construction, getting the joists in, but starting with wall plate, centre wall in the kitchen. So just getting rid of the old mortar in preparation for a new bed of mortar to go in and the timber wall plate to go on. Just cleaning off the old. So it had to be replaced. Unfortunately it got woodworm. Same as all the rest of the timbers in the roof structure. So just increasing the height slightly, using a few tiles rather than cutting brick or anything else. So once it's levelled up, we're putting in another bed of mortar ready for the timber to go on top. And then we check the timber back down to the datum to make sure that we're level, or the correct distance from the datum. Obviously got the level up there to check on that. We're reusing the old cable chasings to put our straps in place to hold it down. Not necessarily needed for the centre walls or the internal walls, but just means that we're not going to disturb it when we're putting the joist onto it. So here we've got a bit of old footage. This is when we were putting the joists up on the bathroom, third bedroom end of the house. We originally put these up because we assumed that the bricklayer would need it to work on to get the gable end done. As it turned out, we didn't need the gable end done, or we were slightly concerned that the wind might catch the gable end. So we left it not built and low. And he got up on with some other stuff, finishing walls to the front and sides and getting pad stones in place for the other stills that we've put up. So we're using 200 by 50 C24 joists. So these are being screwed into the wall plates at sort of wherever they intersect, and then we've screwed them to each other as well. And we've got herringbone straps rather than using timber noggins, just quicker and easier. So these are just nailed onto the joists, thin steel. So these go down the centre of each of the rooms. All of it specified on the structural engineer's drawings that we got via the architect when the plan of permission and building control went through. So we're just sort of following the instruction manual. So as you can see, where we're mixing new and old and the extension on the top, we're having to use various different ways to hold the joists in place. Here we've got hangers that are hanging off the wall, but on the centre there you can see the wall plate. We also go on to steels, and so there's noggins to hold the joists in place on the steels. We've got hangers on steel rather than hangers on masonry. So there's a bit of fettling all the way around to make sure that it works properly. Getting the spacing right, we're on 400 centres. This bit's temporary. This is where the staircase is going to go through, so there's a possibility that well, it's definitely going to get removed and rejigged around. So here we're putting the ply in the opposite way around and getting it screwed down so that we can get the steels up onto the first floor in preparation for getting the steels up into place on the ridge. So we moved these when we were doing the steels before, when we had the genie lift. We moved them and just put them up onto the wall plate so that we could manhandle them at a later date once we had the floor in place. About 5.5 metres long, 2 different sections, about 150 kilos ish, maybe a little bit more. $150 by 200 section is, so they ought to hold it all right. So of course British weather kicks in and the rain starts falling again, so we're covering up. So while the rain's falling, we'll do something that isn't too badly affected apart from us by the rain. So we've got the joist going in above the kitchen, going across from the wall plate onto the steel. Now when they hit the steel, they've got a slight notch that needs taking out. Just a fraction, just to drop them down enough so they're nice and level. And then we haven't got to use packers or anything else. Keeps it all absolutely identical. So Claire's in charge of the marking. And then we go through and do the cutting. So when it came to the cutting, we ended up using a jigsaw. We got a nice rigid blade for it and just took our time. Problem with the jigsaw is you tend to, especially when doing straight cuts, you tend to push the blade out at an angle, so you end up with a non-vertical cut. But it seemed better than trying to use anything else. So that process seemed to work alright and we progressed quite nicely. Working through. It's nice to get to the stage where we're putting some new stuff in rather than destroying things and breaking stuff up and taking stuff down. And there you go, another shot there. All the joists in place. And we move on to the front room. And as I said, these are hangers on the steelwork. Claire struggling a little bit with height there. Big discussions at this point because we've got uneven joists and they're not on the 400 centres, so pretty much the next day took them all down, started again, 400 centres, spacing nicely, And we've got this infill piece in here just holding the couple of joists in between. To be honest, the space above here is mainly going to be loft. It's not actually going to be a room because the room stops about at the chimney. But we've got the hangers in. And then the infill joists. And then in nailing into the hangers. And the constant that he's measuring. So in the meantime, while we're doing this, the bricklayer's back. He's been at the other end of the building, starting off the gable end. So all of this with the aim of getting the steels up and into place and off the floor, so they can start roof construction. So another job he's going to be doing is putting in the lintel that you can see leaning there and the front door frame. So we've got the fur fixed to the existing wall, DPC behind, so that you can get a small pier in. The lintel actually goes all the way across onto the existing wall. So the fur fix just belt and braces to hold the brickwork in place. And then one of those other jobs, we got the pad stone to go up. So this needs time to set, needs a few days before we can start putting steel and weight onto it. So just cutting that in and then mortaring the pad stone into place. So that's then levelled and up and gets a few days to set over the weekend. So as I leave you the last views, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on the next one.